Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the final warm-up, the pregame show for the 15th Region Tournament here at the Appalachian Wireless Arena. I'm Eugene Newsom along with Ronnie Paul Newsom. We have Brian Hunley and our producer Thomas Rainey on hand. We're going to be bringing you a full night of basketball here from the Appalachian Wireless Arena. The games tonight will be our first game. Paintsville will be taking on Belfry in the nightcap. It will be Martin County and Pikeville. But first, let's take a look at what happened in region play last night. In the 14th region, Letcher County Central defeated Breathitt County 61-51, and Estill County defeated Perry County Central 51-36. And in the 16th region, Boyd County was a winner along with Russell. And that sets up tonight's actions, which will be Hazard and Wolfe County playing as we speak, or getting ready to tip it off. And then Knott County will play Owsley County, and all those games are at Knott County High School. Then in the 16th at Morehead State University, Menifee will be taking on Raceland, and it will be Ashland taking on East Carter tonight. We've got the Paintsville Tigers taking on Belfry, and then Pikeville will be taking on Martin County. And, Ronnie, you were here last night. Some interesting basketball went on, to say the least. But tonight, Paintsville, Belfry, Pikeville, Martin County, we're just glad to be here and be able to bring those games to you.
Oh, it is. It's always exciting at the 2026 regional tournament. We're here at the Appalachian Wireless Arena. It's great. We got the whole crew here with us. We're looking forward to some great basketball. Last night we had one blowout in one game that had probably, I don't know if I've ever seen a more bizarre ending to a regional game than that one last night. We'll talk about it later. If I do, I don't remember it, especially with that amount of time left. But it's always great. You got Paintsville coming up. We'll see one of the best, if not the best player in the region in Kylie Kenner, and taking on a very young Belfry squad. And then the game after that, a very good Martin County team taking on what I think most people feel is the number 2 team in the region in Pikeville, behind Johnson Central.
Well, we've got that and a whole lot more, and that's coming your way here on the final wrap-up. We'll take a break right now and let you hear from our sponsors. When we come back, we'll preview tonight's first game. This is the final warm-up on WPRG and G Sports.
Back pain, stiff neck, or everyday aches that keep you from living the life you love. At Hall Chiropractic, we provide gentle, personalized care to help you move better, feel better, and live better. Whether it's pain relief, better mobility, or overall wellness, our team is here for you. Don't wait. Call Hall Chiropractic today and get back to what matters most. Hall Chiropractic. Your health, your life, aligned.
In life's hardest moments, you deserve comfort and care. At Hall and Jones Funeral Home, we guide you with compassion, honoring your loved one with dignity and respect. From traditional services to meaningful celebrations, we're here for you every step of the way. Hall and Jones Funeral Home, where every goodbye is filled with love.
Back at Appalachian Wireless Arena, where our first game tonight will be Paintsville taking on Belfry. And really and truly, it was a mismatch early in the year. Could very well be this tonight as well. Belfry's making progress, but they have a very young team. And let's take a look at our probable starters for tonight's game. As we get those put up.
You know, Paintsville with a big 69-23 victory, Eugene, earlier in the year. That was January the 22nd. That was less than a month ago. Of course, Paintsville comes in 22-10, 14-5 in the region, the third best record. And Belfry 11-17, 8-9. At least on paper, you'd think another mismatch.
Yeah, you know, and Kylie Kenner comes into the ball game tonight, the leading scorer in the region, 6th in the state of Kentucky, averaging at just under 28 points a game, less than 2 points away from leading the state in scoring, and she is now the all-time leading scorer at Paintsville High School. And I think she passed Emily Priest, I think it was, as the leading scorer. And before her career is done, she's going to set the bar pretty high for anybody to break that record.
The only thing she did the other night against Floyd Central in the super regional playing game, she went 20 for 22 from the free throw line. 20 for 22.
Yeah. Let's see if we have those starters for you. Our probable starters, we do not. Okay, so we'll move on with that. And our second game tonight will be Pikeville and Martin County. And Ronnie, the player of the year in the 15th region, Kylie Alvin. She was selected by the Kentucky Association of Basketball Coaches. We're going to see two of the best. We're going in the first game. We're going to see Kylie Kenner. In the second game, we're going to see Kylie Alvin.
Worth the price of admission. Worth the price of a ticket.
Yeah, right here's those probable starters that we have now for Paintsville and for Belfry. If you're looking at them, of course, you see McKinley Ramey and Kylie Kenner and Brooklyn Skaggs and Addison Helton, and along with Blankenship. Those are our 5 probable starters that you'll see there for Paintsville. And for Belfry, we've got Lester, Mapes, Thornsbury, McCoy, and Dixon, and some great shots of those ladies. And we want to appreciate the coaches and the people who share the photos. I think it's a highlight that we be able to bring those pictures and be able to get a face to the name before they take the court tonight.
Oh, it is. I mean, it's always – we talk about this every year. The young girls and young boys, I think they love playing here at the Appalachian Wireless Arena. I think it's a thrill for them. A lot of people say, maybe take it for granted. Just because it's here every year, the same people are not playing here every year. So I think it's just such a thrill for them to be here and to be able to play on this floor. And I was telling someone today, sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad. Sometimes it's in a good way. Sometimes it's in a bad way. I think sometimes, I really do, that the Appalachian Wireless Arena is a neutralizer. I've seen teams that have shot well during the year and they come in here and they can't buy a basket. I think it's the arena. I've seen teams come in here and maybe not a good shooting team or not a team playing well, and they get on this big floor and they just click. And
nothing to lose.
And just play terrific basketball.
Well, with that, let's take a look at some featured players that we're going to be let's go with the tail of the tape to start with. From Valley Pharmacy, tail of the tape. Belfry, you mentioned their record. They are 11-17. Paintsville's 22-10. And you can see the numbers there. And the thing that really will stick out to you, I guess, more than anything else, would be that the points per game is Paintsville scores about 8 or 9 more points per game. But that's 63-29 when these teams met?
69-23.
69-23. So maybe that's an aberration. I don't know. But we'll see about the Belfry Lady Pirates as you see the tail of the tape brought to you by Valley Pharmacy. And now we have some featured players that we want to look at tonight. And first of all, let's take a look at, me and you. We'll get those graphics pulled up here. Just say, here we go for Belfry, Lexi Mapes. Look at those numbers, Ronnie.
Oh, she's a young player. She hit the big field goal to win the district against Pike County Central. Absolutely. So I know they're getting better, the Belfry Lady Pirates. And Lexi Mapes is kind of the one, you look at her, she's shooting almost 40% from the field. Not, shooting very well from the three-point range, but 67% from the free throw line. Okay,
and of course, Belfry, a very young team, and on the other side of the ledger, it's pretty easy to figure out who you might feature and what you might look at with Paintsville, because it's been the story all year. When we first started in volleyball, it was her name every week, Kylie Kenner playing Player of the Week, and now we've turned to basketball, and she's the 6th leading scorer in the state coming into tonight's game.
Absolutely. I was also talking to someone today. If she's not the best player in the region, it doesn't take long to take row. You know what I mean? You could talk about others, with Kylie Alvin and company. Must be the year of the Kylie Kenner and the Kylie Alvin.
I agree with you on that, but let's make a distinction on that. The player of the year in every region, 1 through 16, is voted on by the Kentucky Association of Basketball Coaches, and they have to be a senior.
Oh, correct.
And so, that took Kylie Kenner out of that equation because she's not a senior.
Just like Tyler Weddington.
Just like Tyler Weddington. Who wouldn't want a Tyler Weddington on a team? And we'll see him tomorrow night in action. But right now, let's look at let's take a break. No, we're not going to take a break. We're going to keep going, and let's look at the keys to the game tonight. And, of course, always, when you talk about keys to the game, first thing that you always say is you got to protect the basketball. But we got Pikeville and Martin County that's pulled up on the screen right now. Let's move that over to tonight with Belfry and Paintsville. Always it's ball control, handling the basketball, and not turning it over.
You know, Paintsville turns the ball over quite a bit themselves, but I will say this, how Belfry handles the pressure. And, you know, let me interject something here, Eugene. You look at Belfry. You know, we used to talk about young clubs in the region being sophomores and freshmen. Hey, this team starts 2 freshmen and 3 sophomores. The 4 leading scorers, follow me on that, I think this is so important. The 4 leading scorers for Belfry, they are a freshman, 7th, and 7th grader.
Future's bright, isn't it?
I mean, we just see more 7th and 8th graders, not to mention freshmen. Hey, if you're a freshman, sophomore anymore, you're a graybeard. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Ronnie, that leads right into our keys to the game. You brought it. I mean, it wouldn't be a better segue than that. Paintsville, be Paintsville. They're used to being here. They're used to winning and going to the big dance. And this is their home away from home. They play well here. We've seen that over the years. Belfry, you got to say, is the stage going to be too big tonight for the young players, and can they handle the tempo?
I agree. Excellent points, and I'll agree with all those. I'll say one thing else on the Paintsville side. I watched the Paintsville Floyd Central game, the play-in game. Let me say this. If maybe not tonight, it wouldn't cause a lot of problems, but it might down the road. Paintsville has to keep Kylie Kenner on the floor. She got in foul trouble in the 4th quarter, picked up her 4th foul with 5 minutes to go, and they picked up and they took her out of a game. And I'm telling you, the next few possessions for Paintsville, it was just helter-skelter. I mean, discombobulated, whatever terminology you want to use. But when she's out of the game, that would create a lot of problems for Paintsville.
And with that, our J.I. Fab keys to the game. Paintsville be Paintsville. And Belfry to handle the big stage here tonight. Let's take another break, and we'll be back in 2 minutes as we will feature tonight's game, second game, Pikeville and Martin County. All that's coming up next on the final warm-up on the G Sports Network.
is proud to support all area teams this season and our student athletes in Floyd and Pike counties. Vote Willie Crace for state representative, a voice we can count on for the mountains.
Ready to take your ride to the next level? Trust the pros at J.I. Fab in Pikeville for custom ATV and UTV protection products built tough for the trail. From roll cages and rock sliders to bumpers that can take a beating, J.I. Fab builds it strong and built it right. Locally owned, professionally crafted. Call 639-2029 or visit ji-fab.com to get your ride trail ready. J.I. Fab. Custom protection. Pikeville tough.
Ready to start a real career? At the Carl D. Perkins Job Corps Center, we're training tomorrow's workforce tuition-free. Get paid while you learn and earn industry-recognized certifications. Live on campus, meet new people, and prepare for the career you've been waiting for. If you're 16 to 24 and ready for the opportunity, this is your moment. Carl D. Perkins, Job Corps Center. Start training. Start earning. Start your future today.
Tonight is session 2 of the 15th Region Girls Basketball Tournament, and we previewed the first game with Paintsville taking on Belfry, but we cannot let last night go without talking about the last second of that ball game. And depending on who you talk to, some people say they would put the whistle in their pocket. Some people said that it was so bad you had to call it, but nonetheless, the referee did make the call, and Pike Central was beat on a free throw, and that is a tough way to have to go out of a tournament.
When the other team has the ball in the backcourt. I mean, it wasn't inbounding underneath their own basket. 0.8 seconds to go. I think there was contact. And I'm like you. I've talked to several people, and it's pretty much divided. I've been a firm believer all my life. If it's a foul in the first 3 minutes of the game, it's a foul in the last 10 seconds. But let me say this. With 0.8, I would have swallowed my whistle. I would not have called that. I'll just have to admit it.
I didn't see it.
Was there contact? you really, these young women, and young men, you don't know what they're thinking, when they do. But, the girl wasn't even going toward the basket. She was in front of the girl inbounding it. She started retreating to that side of the floor, and they grabbed her, held her, or a lot of contact.
If you go back to instant replay, would it be a flagrant 1 or a flagrant 2 or just a foul or no call? I mean,
what I'm saying is, why? Just let them throw it in.
That was probably one of the toughest losses that I can remember that Bobby Spears, who might I add is the 15th winningest high school coach in the state of Kentucky in girls basketball. That had to be a tough one.
Oh, I agree.
That'll have to be in his top 5 of hard pills to swallow.
I don't see how you get over that. 0.8 seconds, in case people want to. Betsy Land has the ball in the backcourt, and they get ready to inbound, and one of the Pike Central girls makes contact with one of the Betsy Lane girls, and they send her to the free throw line. She hits the free throw to beat them.
Our second game tonight, let's feature that right now, Pikeville and
I'd
Martin
swallow
County.
the whistle.
Pikeville and Martin County. And that could be our better game tonight. And, of course, we'll have that one for you from start to finish. Martin County and Pikeville. Martin County out of the 57th District. Pikeville out of the 59th District. And, Ronnie, let's take a look at those players that will be playing in tonight's game. First of all, we talked about the Kylie Alvin leading scorer for Pikeville
and leading rebounder.
And leading rebounder. So she's, maybe does it all. She's the do-it-all type person. And I wonder, too, and if I ever got the chance to talk to her, I want to ask her maybe what kind of influence was Trinity Rowe, the Miss Basketball that she played with for a couple of years, how that really plays into her mindset approaching a game like this.
One thing I liked about Pikeville, they got Kylie Alvin, and if you're coach Denise Campbell, you like having the ball in her hands. But she's got a Robin to go with her Batman and Catherine Walters. A lot of teams don't. Walters herself averages over 14 points. And when she was healthy, they had a trio, Nicole Lynn. We watched Nicole Lynn on a limited basis in the district tournament. I don't know how much action she'll see, how much playing time, but she was averaging almost 14 points a game. So they had 3 outstanding players led by Kylie Alvin. And then
they have a good shot of winning this along with Paintsville. Those are my 2 favorites that I think will meet Saturday. If I had to, bet the farm, which I won't do that, but
they can't meet Saturday. They would have to meet in the semis. Johnson Central would be my favorite.
It'd be Friday night. You say Johnson Central. I forgot about the Eagles, of course. Jim Hicks and Johnson Central. Glad you remembered that because it kind of just swept my mind. And let's look at Martin County probable starters for them. You've got Sophie Harless, wearing number 21. You've got Davis, number 22, McKenna Markham. You've got Chloe May, and you got Macy Maynard. That's a pretty good lineup right there.
Talented team. Martin County, a very, very good team. I tell you what, Macy Maynard, McKenna Markham, and Chloe May, that's quite a trio there. And Martin County, they're a good ball club. You cannot, and I don't think Pikeville will, you cannot take them for granted. And I'll tell you something else. They got a big check mark on their side is having Robin Newsom as their head coach, veteran, great player in her own right. And, of course, Martin County comes in with a very good record. They're 15-10 on the season. On
our probable starters that we had up on the screen just a moment ago, we had Nicole Lynn as maybe starting tonight. So we'll just have to see how that plays out. And then let's look at some of the other parts of the basketball game as we move on. Let's look at the feature player for each team. And as we pull that up, it's pretty self-explanatory who that's going to be. But as it comes up for Martin County, Macy Maynard averaging almost 16 points a game and 12 and a half rebounds. My goodness, Ronnie, what else? We've got some great young players in this tournament.
We do, and I tell you, Maynard is tough to deal with. Coach Hicks mentioned her Saturday when we were interviewing him up at the Shelby Valley game. He talked about Macy Maynard. He talked about what a great year she's having. Only a sophomore with another youth is served, but you're right, 15 points a game. But, wow, look at the rebounds. I don't care what.
You never got that many rebounds playing by yourself in the backyard, did you?
I never tried to get that many rebounds, but anyway, it was. She's averaging 12 rebounds a game.
Thank you very much.
and Kevin Garris, our tournament director, here with us. But
we'll thank Kevin Garris and everything that he has done to make our hospitality booth here and our situation here at Appalachian Wireless the way it is. And then our featured player for Pikeville, it goes without saying who that's going to be, and that's going to be Kylie Alvin. I mean, she comes in one of the top scorers in the region. I think she's in the top 50 in the state. That's something in its own right. But she also gets a lot of rebounds for a guard. And when you see these players that are getting a lot of points and their teams are doing well, one thing is in common, Ronnie. They hit their free throws.
18 points a game, 6 rebounds a game, shoots 37% from the field. It shoots 29% from three-point range, 71% from the free throw stop. But she is the epitome of what you call a floor general out there. She make no mistake about it. The ball's going to be in her hands. The offense runs through Kylie Alvin. Now, the thing about it is that with Alvin, as you see with a lot of great point guards, whether they're girls or boys, how they make the other players better. And Kylie Alvin does it. She does a great job penetration, finding the players where they're supposed to be.
If she's got the ball, you better have your head on a swivel because it could be coming at you. And right now we have our final break that we're going to have here in our warm-up for the second session of the 15th Region Tournament. You see the backdrop behind us, the Appalachian Wireless Arena, just a fabulous place to have this tournament, and it's been here every year since 2005 with the exception of 2, and those was when some very bad things were going on, and of course the flood last year was this was the distribution center for supplies. So the Appalachian Wireless Arena, it serves a purpose for this community. Not only is it a basketball, it's entertainment, but it feeds the needs of the people of Pike County and surrounding areas. And with that, we'll take a break, and we'll be back to wrap things up. This is the warm-up show of the 15th Region Girls Basketball Tournament.
I'm Cliff Smallwood, and I'm running for magistrate, Pike County District 3. Some of you may know me from my 19 years driving a school bus. I may have hauled you or your children on my bus. You may have even seen me in the stand supporting the kids for many years. I'd be honored to have your vote and your support.
Back pain, stiff neck, or everyday aches that keep you from living the life you love. At Hall Chiropractic, we provide gentle, personalized care to help you move better, feel better, and live better. Whether it's pain relief, better mobility, or overall wellness, our team is here for you. Don't wait. Call Hall Chiropractic today and get back to what matters most. Hall Chiropractic. Your health, your life, aligned.
In life's hardest moments, you deserve comfort and care. At Hall and Jones Funeral Home, we guide you with compassion, honoring your loved one with dignity and respect. From traditional services to meaningful celebrations, we're here for you every step of the way. Hall and Jones Funeral Home, where every goodbye is filled with love.
At Shelby Valley Diner, every bite is made to satisfy. Crispy, saucy wings, made just the way you like them. And don't miss our daily specials, fresh and delicious, giving you something new to love every single day. Pizza, wings, and specials you can't resist. Only at the Shelby Valley Diner. Shelby Valley Diner, where flavor meets family. So come hungry, leave happy.
You have joined us here on the pregame, the final warm-up as it's called for the girls' 15th Region Tournament. The band has arrived. I can hear that in the background. But also, let's look at the keys to the game for the Pikeville-Martin County game. That's coming up, our second game, and, of course, we'll have that on G Sports as well. Of course, we've talked about some individual players, but the keys to the game, and you said it earlier, the ball has to go through Kylie Alvin. And I think that you also have to look at, the top players for Martin County. They've got to avoid that run that Pikeville can put on you when they play the pressure defense. And they got to keep it close and have a chance to win going down the stretch in the fourth quarter.
Always, if you're the underdog, all you want to do is give yourself a chance. You want to be there at the end and give yourself a chance. That's all you can ask for, and I think that is a true key for Martin County.
And then Pikeville, their transition game, if they get the steals, they get the ball out, they get the quick outlet pass, and they get for transition from defense to offense, they score a bunch of points, and they can do it in a hurry. And they also have to limit Martin County's second chance points opportunities.
That's what I was going to say, even before seeing that. Martin County, one of the better rebounding teams. Now, they can hurt you on the offensive glass and on the putbacks. You have got to get on the boards. Sophie Woods really improved inside player for Pikeville, but other than her, not a lot of size for the Lady Panthers. So that could be a key for Martin County to stand in this game, is getting on the boards and getting some second chance points.
And right now, let's make a trip across, and something that I think the kids got a lot of joy out of last night. And that was putting their team name up as they advance. As we see Johnson Central advance by beating Prestonsburg, and it was Betsy Lang in that controversial ending, to say the least. And they'll play Johnson Central. That's going to come up Friday, I think, right? And then tonight's winners will play Friday. So we've got Pikeville and Martin County, our second game. But up first, it's going to be Paintsville and Belfry. Final thoughts here in the warm-ups.
Well, I'll take you all the way through the tournament, through Saturday. I mean, I don't care to make a prediction. I've been wrong more than I've been right.
I agree.
I think Paintsville gets Belfry tonight. I think Pikeville gets Martin. In the semifinals, Johnson Central will move on to the finals. And in a very hard-fought game, Paintsville defeated Pikeville just a few days ago. I'm still going to go with the Lady Panthers. I think it'll be a Johnson Central Pikeville finals Saturday afternoon.
And that will be a crowd. I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to whoever is in there. But that would be a matchup that a lot of people would pick.
Let me say this about Johnson Central, Coach Hicks. What a job he's done. And until I was here last night, I really didn't realize the youth he's got. 4 of his top scorers, one's a sophomore, and I think 3 are 8th graders, or freshmen. So
he's got it going on in Johnson Central.
And he's 14-0 this year within the region. So what does that tell you?
And before long, they'll be moving into their new facility,
yes.
And they've got it going on at Johnson County, that's for sure. And briefly, we'll switch gears after tonight, and we'll go to boys action.
Yep.
Want to touch on that a little bit?
I'll have my prediction. I think it's, to me, what's surprising when I thought about the top 8, I'm more surprised at who's not here. I'm surprised Shelby Valley's not here, and I'm surprised that Floyd Central's not here.
But there are 6 teams that got both boys and girls here. That's something that hardly ever happens.
Interesting in the boys. You had 3 teams out of the 57th, 3 out of the 60th, and only 1 out of the 58th and 1 out of the 59th. You had 3 out of the 57th.
And
3 out of the 60th, 1 out of the 58th, and 1 out of the 59th.
In the boys, the last 2 champions have been 3 seeds coming into the Super Region and then going all the way and winning. You think playing those games, the play-in games, gives them a little bit of confidence?
It could, but I'll say this: the last two champions would have not been there under the old format. They would have been knocked out in the first game of the district.
Well, we want to thank you for joining us here on the pregame show. And we're going to keep rolling here a little bit as won't be long. We'll turn it over to Charlie Pinson and Larry Cecil, and they'll have a call for the game for you. And any final thoughts, Ronnie, that you have besides getting to the hospitality room?
I'm like Thomas Rainey. Just love being here and love watching good basketball.
Absolutely. And we've got a couple more minutes before they take over with the at the main table, the broadcast WPRG G Sports broadcast booth across the way. I do like the tournament here, and we were talking about the tournament size. There are people that like the high school setting, but what if you were in a situation like they are in Louisville? They're playing the region tournaments, the first 2 rounds, in 8 different high schools, boys and girls. I mean, a basketball fan here at the Appalachian Arena, or whether you're at Morehead State University, the Corbin Arena, Western Kentucky University, Northern Kentucky University, Murray State University, you can watch every game and see all the players.
State University out of the 16.
I mean, I like it, and I do think that, whenever we do have someone that is competitive in the Sweet 16, that playing in this size floor, playing in this spacious arena, really has an advantage.
Oh, there is no question about that. Let me say this. I said this last night, so I'm repeating myself. Ridiculous to have an arena this size with the parking, with the seating, and not use it. That just doesn't compute, to be honest with you.
Well, when I was looking at it, it said
I love the atmosphere, but here's what I'll say about that. You get enough of that during the regular season. You know what I mean? There's a lot of hotly contested games on the team's home floor, so they get that. But here's what I'm saying. If it's about the boys and girls, play here because that's what they want.
And not everyone gets a chance to go play in a Rupp Arena or say a Freedom Hall back in the day. When we were playing, you wanted to get, the coaches always called it the big house. Well, getting here is similar to getting to the big house. It's really something to shoot for, to get to the region tournament and give yourself a chance to move on. And I didn't know when I was looking at the sites of the region tournament, Mason County Fieldhouse seats 5,400 people. I've never seen it. But, I was thinking it was Mason County High School, but no, it's a field house like we have here. And, if you got a facility like this and you don't use it, I know there's diehard people that like to be crowded shoulder to shoulder and have drinks spilled on them and have trouble parking and no restaurants to eat. I know there are people that like that. But for me, I vote keep it here. Like I voted to keep it at Rupp Arena and not switch it back and forth at Louisville.
Oh, no question about it. Everybody, the fans, the players, the families, everybody loves the state tournament at Rupp Arena. I don't think I'll be shocked if it's ever moved back to the Yum Center. I'm not saying it won't be, but I guess if you get enough votes, anything's possible. But I think here it's just a relaxed atmosphere. You're not crowded. You're not on top of each other. Plenty of seating. You come early, leave early. Come late, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have a great seat. So, just a great place to watch a basketball game.
And Friday night, one of our favorite former sportscasters is going to be joining us on the warm-up show. Brian Milam is going to be. We're going to be able to talk to him via telephone, I guess, maybe a Zoom call. We'll see. We've got some technology gurus that are working with us here right now, but we're going to have a special guest. He has now taken a position with the Kentucky High School Athletic Association, and I want to get his take on how things are and what direction they're going. He was going to be with us tonight, but he had to go to the indoor track and field championships in Louisville, so unable to be here tonight, but he said he would make it Friday. And with that, we're going to wrap things up here at our presidential box, if you will. As you see the arena behind us, our first game tonight is Martin County. His first game tonight is going to be Paintsville and Belfry. And for Ronnie, Paul, Brian, and Thomas, everyone up here in the warm-up booth, we're going to kick it next door to the guys who will be bringing you play-by-play of tonight's first game. Thanks for joining us, and enjoy the games on the G Sports Network.